First things first, a happy person cannot be played. If you are really happy deep down, you won't have the fog of emotion blinding you from the actions of the other person. You won't let words manipulate you as much. You won't let what you see manipulate you as much. You won't let your fantasies manipulate you as much. You become more susceptible to the influence of the outside when you're not happy, when you feel empty inside, when you feel that there's something missing. People who get played a lot of the times, they have a lot of anxieties. They may have depression, they may have some mental disorder, right? And that's a lot of people. They may have been abused. So the first key, it's like having a strong immune system. It's like me telling you how to not get sick, right? Well, the first key to not getting sick is having a strong immune system. When you have a strong immune system, you will encounter attacks. You will get attacked by other viruses and bacteria. But since you have a strong immune system, you fight back.
Firstly, just as a strong immune system helps protect the body from harmful pathogens and infections, high self-esteem acts as a shield against negative influences and emotional harm. It allows individuals to have a solid foundation of self-worth and confidence, making them less susceptible to psychological attacks. Secondly, both a strong immune system and high self-esteem contribute to resilience. A robust immune system enables the body to recover quickly from illnesses, while high self-esteem helps individuals bounce back from setbacks and maintain emotional well-being. Both attributes provide a sense of inner strength and the ability to withstand challenges. In conclusion, having a strong immune system serves as an analogy for having high self-esteem and preventing psychological attacks. Both concepts involve protection, resilience, balance, and overall well-being. By understanding the importance of nurturing and maintaining both our physical and emotional health, we can better equip ourselves to face life's challenges.
You're not conscious that you're fighting back, right? Because there's you and then there's your body, right? But you'll notice that you never get played. And even when you do get played, you don't stay long enough because we're all gonna get played eventually, right? So the key is not just about how to prevent getting played, but it's all about how to prevent getting played consistently, because it happens to everyone. So that's the first thing. You got to learn to find inner peace. And one of the ways to find inner peace is to, one, having a sense of purpose in life, developing a calling, doing something in your life that brings happiness to you. For example, with me, I literally did everything to find my purpose. I tried so many things and I found my purpose multiple times in my life, right? I found it in Christianity and spirituality, and then I found it in psychology, and then I found it in art, and then I found it in making YouTube videos, and then I found it in helping people. But the point is that my purpose consistently, I always sensed a sense of purpose, and whenever I was most strongest is when I was deeply concentrating on my purpose. Outside of that is developing a spiritual practice through meditation.
Having a spiritual practice can lead to more happiness for several reasons. Firstly, spirituality often involves connecting with something greater than oneself, whether it be a higher power, nature, or the universe. This connection provides individuals with a sense of purpose, meaning, and belonging, which are important factors in overall life satisfaction and happiness. Additionally, engaging in spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, or mindfulness can help reduce stress and promote emotional well-being. These practices encourage individuals to cultivate a sense of inner peace, calmness, and acceptance, which contribute to a greater sense of happiness and contentment. Spirituality also often involves values such as compassion, gratitude, and forgiveness, which can foster positive relationships and a sense of connectedness with others.
Meditation allows, whenever you see the world through your emotions, which is through your amygdala, when your amygdala is hyperactive, it tends to color reality, and you tend to not be in touch with reality. What meditation does, it allows you to see reality for what it is by enhancing and giving your prefrontal cortex more gray matter so that you can use more of it. And it actually shrinks the activity of the amygdala. So you're able to see reality more clearly without emotions.
The amygdala is a part of the brain responsible for processing emotions, particularly fear and anxiety. When the amygdala is overactive, it can contribute to heightened emotional responses and reactivity. However, studies have shown that individuals who engage in long-term meditation practice tend to have reduced activity and volume in the amygdala. This suggests that meditation may help regulate and dampen emotional responses. On the other hand, the frontal cortex is involved in executive functions such as attention, decision-making, and impulse control. Regular meditation practice has been linked to increased thickness and enhanced functioning of the frontal cortex. This suggests that meditation can strengthen cognitive abilities related to self-regulation and emotional control. By shrinking the amygdala and strengthening the frontal cortex, meditation can help individuals see reality with less emotional influence. It allows for a more objective and clear perception of events and situations. Emotions are still present, but meditation provides increased awareness and the ability to observe them without becoming overly attached or reactive. Through mindfulness meditation, individuals learn to cultivate a non-judgmental and accepting mindset towards their thoughts and emotions. This practice helps create distance between oneself and their emotions, allowing for a more balanced and grounded perspective. As a result, one becomes less likely to be swayed or overwhelmed by emotions, leading to a clearer understanding of reality.
So developing a meditation practice is so important. That's the first preliminary thing. So you either could just Google how to meditate online, or you guys could watch my course, Emotional Mastery, which is a 6-week course on how to develop a meditation practice and use meditation and use your whole life as a spiritual practice. And if you don't like that course, you could just get your money back. Trust me, you could click on the description down below to get it. And if you don't like it, you could just get your money back, to be honest with you. Where we're gonna go to a quick commercial break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't purchased any of my courses, we have a special bundle deal for everyone. So that you can purchase all of my courses, meaning you could purchase the Psychological Game of Attraction, Natural Chemistry, and Nice Girl, along with all of the bonuses. Originally, if you purchase everything without the bundle, it'll be around $500, to be honest with you. But right now, if you guys purchase it with the bundle, you guys will be able to get all of these courses: Psychological Game of Attraction, which is for women who are single; Natural Chemistry, which is for women who are in a relationship; Nice Girl, which is a course on assertiveness, along with all of the bonuses: Social Mastery, Practical Mastery in terms of how to master anything; Social Mastery in terms of how to master your social skills; and the Laws of Human Nature, wherein it's part of the Robert Greene book club I used to have. All of these, naturally, like I said, it's $500. Now you get it at $394, which is essentially 20% off everything. But if you guys want to purchase a more affordable bundle, you guys can purchase the bundle without the bonuses, and that will be at $224 rather than the $300, rather than the $293 that you guys would naturally purchase it. So you could purchase it with the bundle or without the bundle. You could purchase it with the bonuses or without the bonuses. It's all of the work that I put in the last 4 years, in the last 5 years actually, all of the research that I've done. And this course, rather than watching all of my videos, you guys get all of the content condensed in a course. So purchase it right now. Click on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle, and I'll see you guys inside.
So that's the first thing, developing a meditation practice. Now the next thing is knowing your weaknesses. Right? Know your weaknesses, because it's your weaknesses that people attack. Right? And if you don't know your weaknesses, you can't strengthen your weakness. An army that doesn't know its weak points, you are as strong as your weakest link. And if you're not targeting your weaknesses and focusing on improving on your weaknesses, then you're pretty vulnerable to manipulation. So remember that what words and fantasies get you to get emotional. Think about, what are the words that get you to get emotional? What are the fantasies in your mind that whenever you get played, what are the consistent things that usually lead up to the playing? In other words, what's the cognitive consistency and the emotional consistency that usually leads to getting played? For example, for me, it's that I found a woman. Let me think. It's me imagining. I'm trying to think of what are the signs that I'm getting played. Oh, it's when I don't know if she likes me and I like her, but I don't know if she likes me back. Whenever I sense that, for some reason, they always never like me back. But for some reason, my hope is always high. So whenever I see that, I don't listen to my mind, because my mind gives me hope. My mind is a prisoner of hope, and hope is what keeps you in anxiety. I just look at it conceptually. Whenever I feel this, usually means this no matter what my mind is telling me, because there's a bias. So whenever I feel like she doesn't like me, whenever I don't know if she doesn't like me, I just pull away. Consistently, they don't like me. But when they do like me, I know it with 100% certainty. So that's the way that I know that I'm about to get played, right? Now, for you, it might be different. For you, it might be that whenever you get played, you consistently notice that they love bomb you and that you're getting a lot of affection quickly. For other people, it could be that signs that they're getting played is that they feel a lot of guilt. Or maybe that you start fantasizing marrying this guy quickly, like just quick, right? Remember, thinking in your life, what were the thought process and emotions that led to you being blind? What are the signs that you're being blinded at the moment? And it's usually in the form of a consistent mental image, a consistent thought dialogue, and a consistent emotion that you feel. That usually leads that it's like seeing a lot of wind and the sky being gray. What's the sign of that? That it's about to rain. So what are those things? What are those projections, right? So what is the archetype of the type of God that usually gets you played? Who do they remind you of the most? So whenever you see a guy and you notice that guys who remind you of your dad, for example, guys who remind you of your dad, it usually leads to you getting played. Okay, then let's ask ourselves, describe this person. And whenever you see that, whenever you meet a guy like that, just realize you might be projecting.
In psychology, a projection refers to a defense mechanism where an individual attributes their own unconscious thoughts, desires, or emotions onto someone else or external circumstances. It involves projecting one's own feelings, beliefs, or motivations onto another person or object, often without being aware of doing so. For example, if someone feels insecure about their own abilities, they may project those feelings onto others by constantly criticizing or belittling them, assuming that everyone else must also share the same insecurities. In this case, the individual is projecting their own feelings onto others to avoid facing or acknowledging their own insecurities. Projection can occur in various aspects of life, including relationships, personal beliefs, and judgments. It often serves as a defense mechanism to protect one's self-esteem or avoid uncomfortable feelings. By projecting unwanted or unconscious aspects of ourselves onto others, we can maintain a sense of control or distance from those aspects. It is important to note that projection does not reflect reality accurately. Instead, it reveals more about the individual's own inner thoughts, fears, or desires. Recognizing and understanding projection can be valuable in fostering self-awareness and improving interpersonal dynamics, as it allows individuals to examine their own feelings and motivations more objectively.
You might be projecting and not be aware of it because you're just focusing on the shininess of this beautiful projection. Take a step back and ask yourself, okay, this matches this projection. Let me take a step back and detach. Because what happens is that when you create emotion, when you create physical and emotional distance, it allows you to see things a little bit more clearly. And also another thing is, whenever you get played, think about it in your mind. What are the emotions that you're seeking when you're in the process of getting played? Think about that, right? For example, for me, it was the comfort, the motherly figure, right? If I really think back, I think as though I remember those events as though I'm looking for someone to comfort me, to give me some assurance, right? So that's what I look for whenever I project my fantasies onto a woman. So what you got to do is give yourself that comfort. So what would that be like? Well, practice love and kindness meditation, people. I hate to be a broken record. Just practice love and kindness. Give yourself that comfort. May you be loved. Say that to yourself. May you find comfort. May you find nurture. And say that to yourself. And what happens is that you end up giving yourself that. And you know what happens? The projection disappears. When you give yourself what your projection is promising, it'll go away, right? Because what we all want is an inner mother. And what you want is an inner father. Become that inner father, just like I become my inner mother. And it naturally allows you also to integrate your masculine and your feminine, right? So that's one thing. Know your weaknesses. Develop your inner man. Develop your inner mother if you seek it. If you're attracted to assertive men who are abusive, then what that says is that you lack that assertiveness. So develop your inner assertiveness. right? For me, it's the same thing, right? Not that I look for assertive women. I look for strong women, though, to be honest with you. I don't like weak women. Like, I look for women with strong characters. I like that. Understand the archetype that you're always getting played by.
In the example you provided, a woman who is not assertive may be drawn to an assertive partner in hopes that they will provide the assertiveness she lacks. However, this pattern can become problematic when the assertive partner exhibits toxic or abusive behaviors. The woman's unconscious desire for validation and soothing from her partner may inadvertently lead her to tolerate or enable the abusive behavior, perpetuating a cycle of unhealthy relationships. In some cases, our archetypes can represent our shadow side. These archetypes are patterns or roles we repeatedly find ourselves attracted to or engaging with in relationships. They can reflect aspects of ourselves that we have disowned or struggled to accept. By learning to give love and acceptance to our own shadow side, we can stop projecting our desires onto others and break the pattern of dating toxic or unhealthy partners. This involves taking responsibility for our own healing and growth, rather than relying on someone else to fulfill our emotional needs. To break the cycle, the individual must work on developing self-awareness, self-esteem, and assertiveness. By addressing and healing their own wounds, they can learn to soothe themselves and meet their own emotional needs rather than seeking external validation. This process often involves therapy or personal development work to explore past experiences, identify patterns, and develop healthier coping mechanisms. Through self-reflection and self-compassion, individuals can gain insight into their unconscious projections and make conscious choices in selecting partners who are genuinely good for them, based on shared values, compatibility, and healthy dynamics.
The importance of knowing your opponent and their tactics. By studying their patterns, strengths, and weaknesses, you can anticipate their moves and protect yourself from manipulation. So find out what are the normal things that guy says or that guys do that causes you to get manipulated. You gotta know what that is, right? Think about that in your life. Is it that they love bomb you? Is it that you're weak? Is it that you're susceptible to love bombing? Is it that they always have other women and that is causing you to get in a competition, right? What is it? You got to find what that is, because once you know the strategies of your enemy, once you know the strategy of the guys that you consistently play you, then you can begin to anticipate it and counter it, right? For example, if you know that love bombing is your weakness and the guy begins to love bomb you, you'll know when that's happening, you're gonna tell yourself, he's love bombing, he's love bombing, he's love bombing. And then you just create physical distance, right? You understand their strategies and then you get leverage. Now, how do you get leverage? You get leverage through two ways: through concealing your intentions and through learning and to learn how to weaken them. Now, this sounds evil, but this is what I mean, weaken them. Weakening, I mean, you prevent manipulation. So that means rather than getting them to feel comfortable enough to use strategies on you, you get them on the defensive. You get them on the defensive by showing signs of strength. Because whenever you show them signs of weaknesses, through not setting boundaries, through not standing up for yourself, through having weak and vulnerable body language, through exposing your weaknesses, you encourage them and you encourage them to test you out. In other words, if they sense weakness, they will try to test you. That's just how that works. But if they sense strength and you have an intimidating presence, not like an evil presence, but it's a sense of self-assuredness, then they won't test you as much. People feel invigorated when they see a weak victim, and people feel weak when they see a strong person, right? Like, that's why a lot of people get insecure when they're around people who are successful, right? So you show strength, independence, and vulnerability in the beginning to discourage them from trying you.
Instead of trying to avoid conflict or whining about the injustice of it all, consider an option developed over the centuries by military leaders and strategists to deal with violent and acquisitive neighbors: reverse intimidation. This art of deterrence rests on three basic facts about war and human nature. First, people are more likely to attack you if they see you as weak or vulnerable. Second, they cannot know for sure that you're weak. They depend on the signs you give out through your behavior, both present and past. Third, They are after easy victories, quick and bloodless. That is why they prey on the vulnerable and weak.
So you get them to, so what's a man's weakness? Competition, other men, right? So rather than him love bombing you, you present competition. You tell the guy that, you don't tell the guy that you're seeing other people, but you insinuate it.
Desirability is a social illusion. Its source is less what you say or do or any kind of boasting or self-advertisement than the sense that other people desire you. To turn your target's interest into something deeper, into desire, you must make them see you as a person whom others cherish and covet. Desire is both imitative, we like what others like, and competitive, we want to take away from others what they have. As children, we wanted to monopolize the attention of a parent, to draw it away from other siblings. This sense of rivalry pervades human desire, repeating throughout our lives. Make people compete for your attention. Make them see you as sought after by everyone else. The aura of desirability will envelop you.
You know, you don't let them see you as often. You create physical distance. Physical distance, again, a man cannot do nothing during physical distance. You show strength by being willing to walk away. And you make him feel like that you're not easy to conquer, right? So what that causes a guy to stop thinking about how to use your weaknesses against you, but what you're actually doing is that you're weakening them. You're weakening their will by getting them emotional through presenting competition, through pulling away, through the other one, which is concealing your intentions, right?
Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path, envelop them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late.
By concealing your true intentions, you can prevent others from manipulating your actions and exploiting your vulnerability. Don't say some of your weaknesses. Don't say the things that get you. Don't say that in the beginning, at least, that a guy used to hurt you, you know. Don't say that you consistently return to guys who played you. Don't tell guys things that they could use against you in the beginning. Don't give them any vulnerabilities at first, because then when people fall in love with you, they usually fall in love with your weaknesses for the most part, because it's your weakness that creates that sympathy, that love, that desire to protect you, right? But before you see that, before you let them have that, you have to know that they don't have any negative intentions. You have to protect your heart. And this is just us protecting our heart, protecting your heart, by first testing them, by first using these strategies, creating a little bit of triangulation, creating a little bit of distance to see how do they react. Do they react with positivity or with toxicity, right? So that's one thing. So you gain leverage through concealing your intentions. So a lot of the times, a lot of women fuck this part up, where they're just so emotional, so desperate that they tell the guy everything that they want. And then the guy uses that against them to manipulate them. You can't do that.
Toxic individuals may use your weaknesses against you to manipulate and exert control over you. Here are a few common tactics they may employ. Exploiting vulnerabilities. Toxic people often identify your insecurities, fears, or past traumas and use them as leverage. They may intentionally trigger these vulnerabilities to make you doubt yourself, feel guilty, or become emotionally dependent on them. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic where the toxic individual distorts or denies your reality, making you question your own perceptions, memories, or sanity. They may make you feel like your weaknesses or concerns are invalid, causing you to doubt yourself and rely on their version of events. Emotional manipulation. Toxic individuals are skilled at playing with your emotions. They may guilt trip you, use emotional blackmail, or engage in passive-aggressive behavior to manipulate your feelings and actions. By exploiting your weaknesses, they gain power over your emotions and decision-making. Creating dependency. Toxic people may encourage dependency by undermining your confidence and self-esteem. They may make you believe that you are incapable without their guidance, thus ensuring that you rely on them for validation or decision-making. This dependency further empowers their manipulative control. Criticizing and devaluing, toxic individuals often belittle your strengths while magnifying your weaknesses. By constantly criticizing and devaluing you, they erode your self-esteem and create a sense of inadequacy. This makes you more susceptible to their manipulative tactics and control.
So don't say your weaknesses at first. And also get leverage by weakening their will and get them emotional. You prevent active manipulation.
Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective. But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Find the chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them and you hold the strings.
So the more a guy has access to you in the beginning, the faster you might fall in love with them. Because guys take a little bit longer to fall in love at the least, right? I don't know. Actually, I don't know about that, right? So you weaken in the will by getting them emotional. You prevent active manipulation through triangulation, right? Letting them know that you're actively dating people, getting to know them. You don't have to tell them that you're banging a whole football team, but you let them know that you're meeting people. And a lot of you ladies make the mistake that you say, I'm not dating no one. I'm only gonna date you, and it's just a first date, right? So get leverage. If they try to speed up their relationship, tell them to slow the hell down. Slow them down. That gives you leverage. That shows them that you have more control over this, right? So the next thing is learn to handle the lows of life. Because if you're in a low moment, a low point of your life, a depressive period of your life, you're gonna get manipulated. You're so much more easier to manipulate whenever you're in a low moment. So that's why, like I said in the beginning, get happy. Honestly, like practice meditation, or see a therapist, talk to a therapist, because it's very dangerous to date when you're sad. It's very dangerous to date when you're depressed. It really is. So get some help, talk to someone. Don't use relationships as a therapy. No, go to therapy for therapy, man. And I am not your therapist, people, okay? Don't come to me for therapy. I am not a therapist. I am just a YouTuber who did mental health work. But anyways, I don't advertise myself as that, right? But if you ever want to work with me one-on-one for dating advice, you could click on the description down below where it says "Work with me one-on-one." Okay, and if you guys want to purchase all of my courses, you could purchase it in a bundle, so that all of my courses prevent you from getting manipulated, people. Okay. Anyways, click on the description down below, and I'll see you next time. Take care.